Welcome back to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo, episode number 57. The conversation I want to get into today, can Errol Spence once again prove to the world that he can make a strong comeback after facing a long layoff due to eye injury and also missing out on one of the biggest fights of his career and facing Manny Pacquiao? Let's get into a few short clips on the ups and downs of Errol Spence and a few controversies that has been surrounding his name for many years. So stay tuned.
He's got the possibility of changing boxing.
He's almost like the perfect boxer.
Boxing needs a new face, and I think that Errol Spence is that face. Boxing, me and my dad grew up watching Lennox Lewis, because he's of Jamaican descent, and my dad's Jamaican too. So we used to always go and watch him and go support him.
Muhammad Ali was an influence for me, and I'm glad and I'm happy and I'm joyed that you know, somebody else has gained influence from my boxing.
He woke me up one day. He's like, we're going to the boxing gym. I didn't like it at first. I used to get beat up a lot. He wouldn't let me quit. He said, if you quit in this, when it gets hard, then you get quit in anything in life. So he made me stick with it. It turned out to be the best thing I ever done.
Social media channels, a violent crash overnight as a Ferrari flipped on a Dallas street. In that car was Errol Spence Jr. He's the boxing champion from DeSoto. Spence survived the crash, but is in rough shape at a Dallas hospital.
Video from the security camera at Knockout Sports Bar captured the crash around 2:45 in the morning. You can see the white sports car start flipping and barely miss a light bulb as it traveled across lanes into oncoming traffic before landing on the other side of Riverfront Boulevard. Police say Errol Spence Jr. was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from the vehicle. Two vehicles can be seen on the video afterward, driving through the wreckage without
Errol,
stopping.
welcome back. Describe this moment for you.
The moment's surreal, man. It's been a dream of mine, especially coming back on my accident, a year and a half layoff, and I think I look pretty good. There's a little ring rust there. I got a little tired, but I think I shook off the cobwebs, and I'll be ready to fight again in the summertime.
That happened. I think it's, man, it's life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that when you make plans, life happens. I mean, so it's a situation that, hey, unforeseen. You wouldn't have thought it could happen, or you would hope that something like this would happen.
No, for real. Hey, what made you start doing that scoop? See me? Hey, when you do it,
that made it big too. And that shit was a dance.
Oh, God, it was that.
Oh, God. I didn't even know I did this shit. That's why I got a dance and hit that. I didn't know I hit that one. Oh, God. All my life I know I hit that one. Oh, God.
Oh, God, the arena went crazy. Hey, they didn't show that on pay-per-view. The arena went crazy.
Oh, God, that was screaming.
Oh, God.
Everybody started singing the shit and everything.
Oh, God, they were screaming quarter of the night round. That nigga got up, beat that whole nigga, and all of a sudden they started rapping that hoe, and he popped that nigga started wiggling. On my mom, he looked like Sinead.
City was crazy out this shit.
So I put this video together almost like a short docu-series, and I actually followed up on what I may think about Errol Spence and his mindset today. So let's go ahead and get into the video. I'm going to break it down in a couple different sections. As far as his upbringing, drinking and driving, that's the biggest controversy surrounding Errol Spence and him kind of blowing up in weight before the car accident. And also, where's his mind today? So let's go ahead and get into the first part of the video. So I think he had very humble upbringing. I think his dad was in the military and stuff like that. They had, pretty nice things growing up. They, it didn't seem like he was struggling or anything like that. It got inspired. I mean, his daddy got him into boxing, and like you say, you heard him. He said he wanted to quit and everything, but you see, if you don't quit something that you naturally good at, I think he's just a natural fighter. And he said he got beat up a couple times, but a lot of times, man, you got to take that defeat. It's like playing chess. You're never going to get great at chess unless you start taking a beat down. I know I took many of beat downs in chess. People do moves out like, where you going with that one? But eventually I started getting better. So I think from his background, I think that Errol Spence he's a bright talent. He's once in a generational type of fighter. I think that he has all the tools in the bag to beat anybody in the welterweight division and go up to 154 and make some noise up there. But let's get into the controversy. So he has always had controversy. People kind of saying that, hey, look, Errol Spence is kind of doing a little bit too much. I don't know if there's any other drugs involved other than drinking. I'm not sure. But, he has had many of interviews where his eyes was very glazed. His speech was very, very slurred. you know, just kind of hanging out, man. You know, being around certain guys and stuff like that. Just trying to, you know, just living in the moment. There's nothing wrong with that. It's, you know, I can't tell another man or say, hey, he need to straighten up. But could that be his downfall in this upcoming fight? That's something to really worry about. If he's actually drinking after a horrific car accident like that, which he could have lost his life. Thank God he didn't. But, you know, could this be Errol Spence's first loss? Get into a topic also is as far as Mike Tyson. He said he was on some drugs and stuff like that, facing Buster Douglas, and you see what happened in Tokyo, he lost. So could we get another version like this in Texas in August? As far as, you know, just not being super focused, you can train all you want to, but if you're doing certain things, you can't put the bottle down. A lot of times, man, you could defeat yourself. And also, another great fighter in another sport is a combat sport, John Jones. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a legend UFC fighter, but now he's going through a whole bunch of craziness, and he's constantly getting arrested because he can't put the bottle down, he can't put the drugs down or anything. Like, you know, like I say, sometimes fighters are so good. It's like being around, if you're ever in school and being around one of the smartest people, but then they like life dumb. It's kind of like the same thing. Like they book smart, but then they life dumb. You know, they can't comprehend just normal things that you know, like day-to-day life. You know, just kind of get you from point A to point B. They don't understand it, but if you give them a book, they can go through that book like white on rice. But you know, it's kind of representative to that. Errol Spence is a natural talent, but is he going to defeat himself? You know, he's got the upbringing behind him. He's got like I said, he was inspired by Lennox Lewis. Him and his dad was from the same country and stuff like that. So, you know, especially somebody like Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis was a monster. So, you know, you could be inspired by especially style and motivation and stuff like that. But we all individually live our own life. So let's go ahead and get into the mindset of Errol Spence coming into this dangerous fight with Dennis Ugas. I think this is a very important fight. Obviously, his belt's on the line. It's one step closer to actually completing his dreams and becoming undisputed. Errol Spence has always said that he wants to become undisputed at 147. So he has one fight to go to actually collect a third belt and actually try to get a fight with Terrence Crawford to go for the fourth belt and complete his overall dreams. I think Derek James is really good for him. I think that he probably to some degree kind of keep him on the straight and narrow. I don't think that Errol Spence will lose this fight. I think that when he trains and he's busy or whatever, he's like one of them guys. If you keep him busy and keep him in training camp, he's in training camp to win. He's competitive. You also play other sports and stuff like that. So anytime you play multiple sports, a lot of times you're just so competitive, you don't want to lose at anything. And I was kind of the same way. I did not play multiple sports, but I could have. I was pretty good at basketball. And, you know, like I said, I was natural. You know, I did wrestling and all that stuff, so I was pretty good at probably anything that I wanted to be good at. But obviously, I'm doing YouTube, so I wasn't good enough. But I think that just overall life competitiveness, you want to make it. So, you know, obviously, I didn't give up. I'm still pushing. I still got my own business, so I'm not a failure in a sense of actually living out my dreams. But I think he'll come fully prepared. I think that you know, in the long run, will it catch up to him as far as his lifestyle, the people he's hanging around? You know, a lot of times you want to feel cool. I'm hoping Errol Spence, you know, you're 30-something years old. I hope that's not the case. But as far as this fight right here, he's going to have to be super prepared because Dennis Ugas is looking to upset. And I feel like Dennis Ugas has already had a big upset as far as facing Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao was the favorite. So Dennis Ugas is a little bit older, but he's hungry. He already has a championship belt due to some circumstances. And I also think that he won in the Sean Porter fight as well. So Dennis Ugas is going to come prepared. I know he is. He's a Cuban fighter. I got into a video, my last video, so you guys go check that out. I think it's my last video before last, so please go check out those videos. But other than that, I think Errol Spence will come prepared. I think that hopefully he has learned from his you know, his old habits and stuff like that. And I hope it's not his downfall because he is a great fighter. But you guys let me know what you think about this topic down in the comments below. that's going to conclude another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo, episode number 57. You guys let me know what you think about this topic and all the other topics that I bring up on my channel. If you want to see what I'm wearing, shoptati.com. Follow me on all social media platforms that I'm currently on. Links will be down in the descriptions below. Just want to thank you guys like I do each and every single video. If you old to the channel, new to the channel, please try to make sure you watch the full video so you get the full breakdown of the content. If you like the video, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on any upcoming videos on this channel. With all that out of the way, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo.